So I apologize that I haven't posted anything for a couple of days. I have been dealing with some issues. I got a little bit, or a lot, depressed for the last couple of days. I'm better now. I just have a lot of stress going on. And I'll be getting married October 6th. So I just had a lot going on with that, a lot going on with family. So anyway, I'm back. I did get a little sad. I thought I was doing well with like my YouTube channel. I thought subscribers were like super important, and I'm super excited with my subscribers. But then somebody told me, they're like, oh, you do know like your subscribers don't matter. It's the amount of views you're getting per video. And I was like, no, I didn't know that. And, you know, it really shouldn't have made me sad, but I guess it did. Probably, I think it's just because it was unexpected, and kind of one of my triggers is when I lose control of a situation or when I don't really know something. So it just kind of hurt my feelings. But no big. I'm over it now. And you know what? I don't care. If my YouTube channel isn't doing well, I'm having fun with it. The subscribers that I do have seem to be really enjoying it. And that's all that matters to me. So I wanted to say thank you. And I really hope that you still like this channel. And everybody's like, yeah, but most people don't really want to be read to. And reading to people is a really, like, small niche. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to do it because it makes me happy. And it keeps me wanting to live. So anyway, enough with the drama and the heavy. I'm going to move on. I'm going to continue reading The Power of Six by Pittacus Lore. Picking up where we left off. Chapter 23. We're not going to Sarah's, Sam says, following me along the edge of the forest. We got this tablet thing, possibly the transmitter we were after, and we're going back to help Six. I step towards him. Six can handle herself. I'm right here, and Sarah's right here. I love her, Sam, and I'm going to see her. I don't care what you say. Sam backs down, and I keep walking towards Sarah's house. Sam says, Do you really love her, though, John? Or are you in love with Six? Which one? I twist around and shine my palm in his face. You think I don't love Sarah? Hey, come on! Sorry, I mutter, lowering my palm. He rubs his eyes. It's a valid question, man. I see you and Six flirting all the time. All the time. And you do it right in front of me. You know I like her. And you don't even care. And to top it all off, you already have like the hottest girlfriend in Ohio. I do care, I whisper. You care about what? I care that you like Six, man. But you're right, I like her too. I wish I didn't, but I do. It's stupid and cruel to you, but I can't stop thinking about her. She's cool and she's beautiful and she's Lorik, which is like extra cool. But I love Sarah, and that's why I have to see her. Sam grabs my elbow. You can't, man. We have to go back and help Six. Think about it. If they were waiting for us at my place, then even more of them are waiting for us at Sarah's. I gently pull my elbow away from his grip. You gotta see your mom, right? You saw her in the backyard. Yeah, he sighs, his eyes find his shoes. You got to see your mom, so I get to see Sarah. That doesn't make as much sense as you think it does. We got the transmitter, remember? This is why we're in paradise. It's the only reason. Sam hands me the tablet, and I stare at its blank screen. I touch every inch of it. I try telekinesis. I hold it to my forehead. The tablet remains off. Let me try, Sam says. As he fumbles with the tablet, I tell him about the ladder, the huge skeleton with the pendant, and the desk and wall covered in pages. Six grabbed a handful of the papers, but it's not like we can read them, I say. So, my dad had a secret underground lair? Sam smiles for the first time in hours, handing the tablet back. He was so cool. I'd really like to look at this paper Six took. Absolutely, I say, right after I see Sarah. Sam opens his arms in astonishment. What can I do to change your mind? Just tell me. Nothing. There's nothing you can do to stop me. The last time I was at Sarah's house, it was Thanksgiving Day. I remember walking up the driveway and seeing Sarah wave from the front window. "Hey, handsome," she'd said when she opened the door, and I turned around to look over my shoulder to pretend she meant it for someone else. Her house looks completely different at 2 in the morning, with every window dark, with the garage doors closed. The house looks cold and empty, uninviting. Sam and I are on our bellies in the shadow of a house on the corner, and I don't know how I'm going to talk to her. I pull the prepaid cell phone I've had turned off for days out of my jeans. I could text her until she wakes up. That's actually a pretty good idea. Just do this already so we can get out of here. I swear, Six is going to kill us. Or worse, maybe she's about to be killed by a swarm of mobs, and we're here lying in the grass about to go through a scene from Romeo and Juliet. I power up the phone and type. I promised I'd come back. You up? We count to 30 after I send it, and then I type. I love you. I'm here. Maybe she thinks you're pranking her, Sam whispers after we wait another 30 seconds. Say something only you would know. I try. Bernie Kosar misses you. Her window lights up. Then my phone buzzes with a text. Is it really you? You're in paradise? I pull up a handful of grass. I'm so excited. Chill out, Sam whispers. I can't help it. I respond. I'm outside. Meet me at the playground in 5. My phone buzzes immediately. I'll be there. Sam and I are hiding behind a dumpster at the end of the street when Sarah takes her first steps onto the concrete playground. From the moment I see her, I'm breathless, flooded with emotions. She's 20 yards away, wearing dark jeans and a black fleece jacket. A white winter hat is pulled over her head, but I can still see her long blonde hair, and it brushes over her shoulders in the slight wind. Her flawless complexion glows in the lone playground bulb, and I feel instantly self-conscious about being covered in dirt and mog ash. I take a step away from the dumpster, but Sam grabs my wrist and holds me back. John, I know this is going to be really hard, he whispers, but we have to be back in those woods in 10 minutes. I'm serious. Six is counting on us. I'll do my best, I say, not even thinking of the repercussions at this point. Sarah's right there, and I'm so close I can practically smell her shampoo. I watch Sarah turn her head back and forth, looking for me. Finally, she sits down on a swing and twists herself, the ropes above her becoming taut. Sarah starts to spin slowly, and I shuffle around the perimeter of the playground, pausing behind trees, watching her. She looks so beautiful, so perfect. I wait until she's facing the other direction before stepping out of the shadows, and when she twists around again, there I am. John? The toes of Sarah's sneakers scrape on the concrete to stop her from twisting back around. Hey, beautiful, I say. I can feel my smile reaching the corners of my eyes. Sarah covers her mouth and nose with her hands. I walk towards her, and she tries to get off of the swing, but its ropes are too taut for her to escape. I jump forward and catch the swing's ropes in my hands. I twist her towards me and raise my arms, lifting her and the seat so her face lines up with mine. I lean in and kiss her, and the instant our lips meet, it's as if I'd never left paradise. Sarah, I say into her ear, I've missed you so much. I can't believe you're here. This can't be real. I kiss her again, and I don't stop while I twist us both around and around until the ropes above her separate. Sarah pushes off from the seat and lands in my arms. I kiss her cheeks and her neck, and she runs her hands over my head, gripping my short hair between her fingers. I set her down, and she says, Somebody got a haircut. Yeah, it's my whole tough guy on the run look. What do you think? You into it? I am, she says, pressing her palms to my chest. But you could be bald for all I care. I take a step back to cement this image of Sarah. I note the brightness of the stars behind her, the tilt of her winter hat. Her nose and cheeks are red from the cold, and as she bites her lower lip and stares at me, a small cloud of breath floats from her mouth. I've thought about you every single day, Sarah Hart. I promise I've thought about you twice as much. I lower my head until our foreheads touch. We stay this way, wearing ridiculous grins until I ask, How are you? What are things like for you around here right now? Better now. It's so hard being away from you, I say, kissing her cold fingers. I'm constantly thinking about what it feels like to touch you or hear your voice. I've come close to calling you every single night. Sarah cups my chin and runs her thumbs over my lips. I've sat in my dad's car so many times just wondering where you are. All I needed to know was which direction, and I would have started to drive. I'm right here, right in front of you, I whisper. She drops her hands. I want to come with you, John. I don't care. I can't go on like this. It's way too dangerous. We just finished battling 50 mogs over at Sam's place. That's what life is like with me right now. I can't put you in the middle of all this." Her shoulders shake and tears dot the corners of her eyes. "I can't stay here, John. Not with you out there and me not knowing if you're dead or alive." "Look at me, Sarah," I say. She raises her head. "There's no way I'm going to die. Knowing that you're here waiting for me, it's like a force field. We're going to be together, soon." Her lip quivers. "It's so hard. Everything is awful right now, John." "Everything's awful? What do you mean?" "People are jerks. Everyone's saying hateful things about you, and they say a lot of things about me, too." "Like what?" "Like you're a terrorist and a murderer and you hate the United States. Guys at school call you names like Bob Smith. My parents say you're dangerous and I'm never supposed to talk to you again no matter what. And as an added bonus, there's a reward on your head, so people are always talking about shooting you." She puts her head down. "I can't believe you have to put up with all that, Sarah," I say. "At least you know the truth." "I've lost almost every friend I had. Plus, I'm at a new school where everyone just thinks I'm this weirdo." I'm devastated. Sarah was the most popular, most beautiful, most liked girl at Paradise High School. Now she's an outcast. "Things won't always be this way," I whisper. She can't hold back the tears any longer. "I love you so much, John, but I can't imagine how we're going to get out of this mess. Maybe you should turn yourself in." "I'm not turning myself in, Sarah. I just can't. We'll get out of it. Of course we will. My one and only love, Sarah. I promise, if you wait for me, things will get better." But the tears don't stop. "How long do I wait, though? And what happens when things do get better? Will you go back to Lorien?" "I don't know," I finally say. "Paradise is the only place I want to be right now, and you're the only person I want to be with in the future. But if we're able to somehow defeat the Mogadorians, then yes, I have to go back to Lorien. But I don't know when that will be." Sarah's phone buzzes in her pocket, and she pulls it halfway out to check the screen. "Who's texting you so late?" I ask. "Just Emily. Maybe you should just turn yourself in and tell them you're not a terrorist. I don't want to lose you over and over, John." "Listen to me, Sarah. I can't turn myself in. I can't sit in a police station and try to explain how an entire school was destroyed and how 5 people were killed. How am I supposed to explain Henry? Those documents they found in our house? I can't get arrested. I mean, Six would absolutely kill me right now if she knew I was here talking to you." Sarah sniffs and wipes her tears away with the backs of her hands. "Why would Six kill you if she knew you were here?" "Because she needs me right now, and it's dangerous for me to be here." "She needs you? She does? I need you, John. I need you here to tell me everything is going to be okay, that all this is worth it." Sarah walks slowly over to a bench marked with initials. I sit down next to her and lean my shoulder onto hers. We're out of the light and I can't see her face very well. I don't know where it comes from, but Sarah leans away from me and says, "Six is very pretty." "She is," I agree. I shouldn't have, but it just fell out of my mouth. "Not as pretty as you, though. You're the prettiest girl I know. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen." "But you don't have to stay away from Six like you have to be with me." "When we go on walks, we have to be invisible, Sarah. It's not like we can just hold hands and walk down the street. We have to hide from the entire world. I'm hiding just as much when I'm with her as when I'm with you." Sarah shoots off the bench and turns around. "You go on walks with her? Do you hold her hand when you two walk down the street?" I stand up and approach her with my arms out, the sleeves of my coat still caked with dirt. "We have to. It's the only way I can be invisible." "Have you kissed her?" "What?" "Answer me." There's something new in her voice. It's a mixture of jealousy and loneliness, and enough anger to give each word a kick. I shake my head. "Sarah, I love you. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, nothing's happened." A tsunami of discomfort crashes into me, and I rifle through my vocabulary to piece together the right words. She's furious. "It was a simple question, John. Have you kissed her?" "I haven't kissed Six, Sarah. We haven't kissed. I love you," I say. And then I cringe at the acidity of the words, the sentence sounding far worse than I thought it would. "I see. Why was that question so hard for you to answer, John? My life just keeps getting better and better. Does she like you?" "It doesn't matter, Sarah. I love you. So Six doesn't matter. No other girls matter." "I feel like such an idiot," she says, crossing her arms. "Stop. Please, Sarah. You're misinterpreting everything." "Am I, John?" she asks, turning her head and staring fiercely at me, tears in her eyes. "I've gone through so much for you." I reach out and try taking Sarah's hand, but she snatches it away the instant our fingers touch. "Don't," she says, a hard edge in her voice. Her phone buzzes again in her jacket pocket, but she doesn't make a move to check it. I want to be with you, Sarah, I say. Nothing I say right now seems to come out right. All I can really say is that I've spent weeks missing you terribly, and there hasn't been a single day that I didn't think about calling you or writing a letter. I feel wobbly. I can tell I'm losing her. I love you. Don't doubt that for a second. I love you too, she cries. I close my eyes and breathe in the cool air. A bad feeling rushes over me. A prickly feeling that starts in my throat and claws its way into my shoes. When I open my eyes, Sarah has taken several steps away from me. There's a noise to my left, and I whip my head to see Sam. His eyes are downcast, and he bobs his head in a way that tells Sarah and me that he'd rather not be approaching, but he has to. Sam? Sarah asks. Hey, Sarah, he whispers. Sarah wraps her arms around him. It's really good to see you, he says into her hair. But Sarah, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry, and I know you guys haven't seen each other in a long time, but John and I need to go. We're in a lot of danger. You have no idea. I sort of do. She pulls off of him, and just as I prepare to start reassuring her how much I love her, just as I'm about to start saying goodbye, chaos erupts. Everything happens so fast I'm unable to take it all in completely, the scenes randomly skipping like a movie reel gone mad. Sam is tackled from behind by a man in a gas mask. The blue jacket he wears has the letters FBI on the back. Someone wraps their arms around Sarah and whisks her away from me. A metallic shell skids across the grass and lands at my feet, and the white smoke billowing from both ends burns my eyes and throat. I can't see. I hear Sam gag. I stumble away from the canister and fall to my knees next to a plastic slide. When I lift my head, I see over a dozen officers surrounding me, all with guns drawn. The masked officer who tackled Sam has his knee on Sam's back. A voice through a megaphone blasts. Don't move. Put your hands on top of your head and get on your stomach. You are under arrest. As I place my hands on the top of my head, cars that have been parked on the street the entire time we were there suddenly come to life. Their headlights turn on, red lights flash from dashboards. Cop cars screech around the corner, and an armored vehicle with SWAT written on its side jumps the curb and slams on its brakes in the middle of the basketball court. Men yell and pile out of it at an alarming rate, and that's when someone kicks me in my stomach. Handcuffs are clinked around my wrists. Above me, I hear the whir of a helicopter. My mind grabs hold of the only explanation it can come up with. Sarah. The text messages. That wasn't Emily. The police were talking to her. What little of my heart that didn't break when Sarah backed away from me now shatters. I shake my head with my face against the concrete. I feel someone remove my dagger. Hands take the tablet from my waistband. I watch as Sam is pulled off the ground by his arms, and our eyes meet for a brief second. I can't tell what he's thinking. Cuffs are slapped around my ankles, and a chain connects to the cuffs around my wrists. I'm jerked up from the ground. The cuffs are too tight and dig into my wrists. A black hood is pulled over my head and secured around my throat. I can't see a thing. 2 officers grab my elbows, while another shoves me forward. You have the right to remain silent, one of them begins as I'm led away, and I'm thrown into the back of the vehicle. Okay, so that was the end of chapter 23. Let's see. Oh, chapter 24 is pretty short. Chapter 24. After 5 minutes, I get up off my bed and look in the wardrobe to see if there are any clothes I want to take with us. I'm holding a black sweater when I decide I can't leave without saying goodbye to Hector. I rip another girl's jacket from the wall, one with a hood, and write a quick note to Adelina. Had to say goodbye to someone in town first. The double doors open into the chilly air, and once I see the police cars and news vans lining Cal Principal, I feel better. The Mogadorians wouldn't try anything with so many witnesses. I walk through the gate with the hood over my head. The door to Hector's house is cracked open, and I knock softly on the doorframe. Hector? A woman answers. Hello? The door swings open, and it's Hector's mother, Carlotta. Her black and gray hair is pinned carefully around her head, and her face is pink and smiling. She's wearing a beautiful red dress and a blue apron. The house smells like cake. Is Hector home, Señora Ricardo? I ask. My angel, she says. My angel has returned. She remembers what I did for her, how I cured her disease. I feel embarrassed by the way she's looking at me, but she bends down for a hug and I can't resist. My angel has returned, she says again. I'm so happy you're feeling better, Senora Ricardo. The tears that fall from her eyes are almost too much, and soon my own eyes swell with water. You're welcome, I whisper. There's a meow behind Carlotta, and I lean over to see Legacy trotting towards me from the kitchen with milk dripping from his chin. He purrs against my shins, and I bend down to pet his coat. When did you get a cat? I ask. This morning he comes to my door, and I think he's so sweet I've named him Fio. It's good to see you, Fio. He's a good cat, she says, her hands now on her hips. Very hungry boy. I'm so glad you two found each other, Carlotta. I'm very sorry, but I have to leave. I need to speak with Hector. Is he home? He's at the cafe, she says. The disappointment of Hector drinking so early in the morning must be evident on my face because Carlotta adds, only coffee now. He's drinking coffee. I hug her goodbye, and she kisses both of my cheeks. The cafe is packed. I reach for the door, but just before I pull it open, something stops me dead in my tracks. Hector's sitting at a small table, but I notice him only in my periphery. My eyes are glued to who's sitting in the chair opposite him. The Mogadorian from last night. He's now clean-shaven, and his black hair has been lightened to a chestnut color, but there's no mistaking him. He's just as tall and muscular as before, just as broad-shouldered, just as dark and brooding, with the same heavy brows. I don't need the killer's description to know he matches it perfectly, with or without the dyed hair or missing mustache. I let go of the door and step backwards. Oh, Hector, I think, how could you? My legs shake, my heart pounds. As I'm standing there watching them, the Mogadorian turns and sees me at the window. My flesh turns cold. The world seems to stop. I'm stuck, rooted in place, incapable of moving a muscle. The Mogadorian watches me, causing Hector to turn my way as well. And it's only upon seeing his face that I'm shocked into action. I stumble backwards then, turn, and run, but before I've made it far I hear the cafe door open. I don't turn around. If the Mogadorian is following me, I don't want to know. Marina! Hector yells. Marina! 4 officers ride with me. I touch my fingertips to the heavy chains. I'm certain I could break them if I wanted to, or I could simply unlock the cuffs with telekinesis, but the thought of Sarah empties me of the energy required for such an undertaking. She couldn't have turned me in. Please don't let it have been her. The first drive takes 20 minutes, and I have no idea where we are. I'm pulled out and shoved into a second vehicle, which I assume is more secure, meant for longer transport. The second drive takes forever. 2 hours, maybe 3. And by the time we finally stop, and I'm again jerked out, the sickness over what Sarah may have done has grown to the point that it's nearly unbearable. I'm guided into a building. After each turn, I have to wait for a door to be unlocked. I count 4 of them, and the air changes with each new door, becoming staler the further I'm led. Finally, I'm pushed into a cell. Sit, one of them orders. I sit on a bed. The hood is removed, but the shackles remain. 4 officers exit and slam the door shut. The 2 larger ones take seats outside my cell while the other 2 leave. The cell is small, 10 feet by 10 feet, and contains the bed I'm sitting on, covered in yellow stains, and a metal toilet and sink, nothing else. 3 of its 4 walls are solid concrete, and there's a small window at the very top of the back wall. Despite the filthy mattress, I lie down, close my eyes, and wait for my mind to slow down. John! Sam's voice yells out. My eyes snap open. I rush to the front of the cell, grabbing hold of the bars. Right here! I yell back. Shut up! The larger of the 2 guards yells, pointing his nightstick at me. Down the corridor, somebody yells at Sam, too. He doesn't say anything else, but at least I know he's close. I reach my hand through the bars of my cell and press my palm against the flat metal surface of the lock. I close my eyes, focus my telekinesis to feel its inner workings, and yet I feel nothing other than a vibration that hurts my head the harder I concentrate. The cell. It's electronically controlled. I can't open it with telekinesis. I run as fast as I can back to the orphanage, the hood ballooning with air around me, and as I gain speed the clouds and blue sky above me melt into a bright white. I burst through the double doors and run to the sleeping quarters. Adelina's sitting on my bed, the note folded on her lap. A small suitcase sits at her feet. When she sees me, she jumps up and hugs me. You have to look at this, she says, handing me the paper. I unfold it to see that it's not my note after all, but a photocopied picture. It takes me a second to realize what the picture is of, and when I recognize it, my heart sinks. Someone has burned an enormous and intricate symbol into the side of a nearby mountain. With its careful lines and sharp angles, it's an exact replica of the scars around my ankle. The sheet falls from my hand and slowly floats to the ground. That was found yesterday, and the police are handing these copies out looking for information. Adelina says, we have to go now. Yes, absolutely. I need to talk to you about Ella first, I say. Adelina tilts her head. What about Ella? I want her to come with... Before I can finish my sentence, I'm rocked off my feet by a thundering crash. Adelina falls as well and slams her shoulder into the ground. There's been an explosion, somewhere within the orphanage. Several girls run into the room screaming. Others run past the doorway looking for refuge elsewhere. I hear Sister Dora yell for everyone to go to the south wing. Adelina and I get to our feet and head for the hallway, but then another explosion hits, and suddenly I can feel cold wind. I can't hear what Adelina is saying above the screams, but I follow her gaze to the roof, where there's now a jagged hole the size of a bus. As I'm staring, a tall man in a trench coat with long red hair walks to the edge of the hole. He points at me. All right, so that was the end of chapter 24. Let's see how long chapter 25 is. Chapter 25 is pretty long, so I'm going to end it there for now. I hope you're enjoying it. It's going to, like I said, get really, really interesting. The excitement is definitely getting there. They're converging. I'm so excited. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Click that thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so that way you can make sure to get all the updates of the further videos that I'll be doing. Alright, so without further ado, that's it for now. It's Reading by Ree until next time. Bye!